بلسان عربي مبين.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is Ithar Ahmed, and today, inshallah, we're talking about the heavy Ra. Letter Ra is one of those letters that come heavy and light in the different cases. So today, we're gonna talk about when Ra is heavy. The first case when Ra is heavy, when it has Fatha. So if Ra comes in the beginning of the word, in the middle of the word, at the end of the word, with a Fatha sign, it's a heavy sound. Just as the word Ramadan, Ra, this is a heavy sound, Ra, Ra. We also have this example. The word Rasul, Ra, Rasul. This is also a heavy Ra. Great job. The second case when Ra is heavy, when it has Sukoon and it's preceded by a letter with Fatha sign. Just as the word Maryam, Maryam. So Ra here is a second letter, right? And the mim before has Fatha. So Ra also is gonna be heavy. And let's imagine something. Imagine that Ra, when it's a second letter, when it has Sukoon sign, it couldn't decide what to do. Should I be heavy? Should I be light? I can't decide it myself. So she looks at the letter before. If it has Fatha, so Ra's gonna be heavy. Okay? Another example. Like in the word أرسلنا. Ra has a Sukoon sign and Hamza before is with Fatha. So Ra's gonna be heavy too. The third case, if Ra has Sukoon. Okay, what should we do? We're gonna look at the letter before. Correct. So what if we look at the letter before and find it second too? Now we don't know what to do. What should we do? Should we look at the letter before? Exactly. We're gonna look at the letter before them both. So if Ra is a second letter and it's preceded by a second letter, we're gonna look at the letter precedes them both. And if it has Fatha, so Ra is gonna be heavy. Let's see some examples. Just as in the word wal-asr, wal-asr, Ra is second letter and Sad before is second. We're gonna look at the letter before them both. It's Ain with Fatha. So Ra at the end of the word is gonna be heavy because of this Fatha on Ain letter. Now let's talk about the next cases and you're gonna find it so easy, inshallah. The fourth one, if Ra has Dhamma sign, it's gonna be heavy. Just as in the word كفروا, كفروا, كفروا. And this is also a heavy sound. Also like in the word مكروا, مكروا, رو. This is also a heavy sound. Okay. The fifth case, if Ra is sakina and it's preceded by a letter with dhamma. So simple. Just as القرآن, القرآن. We don't say القرآن, قر. No, this is incorrect. We have to make it heavy because it's a second letter preceded by a dhamma. So it's gonna be القرآن. Like also in the word burhan, burhan. Now let's move to the following case. As we said before, Ra sakina, preceded by a second letter, preceded by a fatha, it's a heavy sound. The same with Ra sakina, preceded by a second letter, preceded by a letter with dhamma. It's also going to be a heavy sound. Like in the word khusr. In the word khusr, Ra sakina, preceded by a second sin, preceded by Kha with dhamma. So it's gonna be heavy. Also as in the word al-umur. Al-umur. This is also a heavy sound. In the seventh case, if Ra is the second letter and is preceded by the letter Hamzatul Wasl. And Hamzatul Wasl is an alif with a unique sign on the top. We call this sign Ra'sus Sad, the Sad's head, because it looks like the Sad's head, letter Sad. So we call it Ra'sus Sad. Okay. So the rule says if you have Ra sakina preceded by a Hamzatul Wasl, you make it a heavy sound. And it doesn't matter how to pronounce Hamzatul Wasl, because Hamzatul Wasl is pronounced with U sound and E sound. So if you pronounce it with U or E sound, Ra is heavy in the two cases. Let's see some examples. Just as in the word irji'u, irji'u, this is a heavy sound. We also have الذي ارتضى لهم, الذي ارتضى لهم. If you notice, in the first example, Hamzatul Wasl is pronounced and Ra is heavy. And in the second example, الذي ارتضى لهم, الذي ارتضى, Hamzatul Wasl is impronounced because it comes in the middle of the ayah. And also Ra still a heavy sound. So it doesn't matter if you pronounce Hamzatul Wasl or you drop it, you impronounce it when it comes in the middle of the ayah. It doesn't matter. Ra is gonna be heavy in the two cases. Whatever Ra is a second letter preceded by Hamzatul Wasl, Ra is gonna be heavy. And last one, if Ra is a second letter preceded by a kasra, letter with a kasra, but the following letter is heavy. The letter comes after Ra is heavy, so it's gonna be heavy too. Like in the word mirsad. And let's imagine something. Ra is a second letter in the middle. As we say, Sukun couldn't decide if it wanna be heavy or light. So this second letter looks at the letter before and it found it with kasra. It has a kasra sign. So she said, okay, I'll be light. But there is something stronger than the light kasra after, which is the heavy sound, the heavy letter, letter Sad. So now Ra is confused in the middle. Should I be light, just to follow kasra before, or to be heavy as the heavy letter? What do you think is gonna win? The light sign, kasra, or the strong and heavy letter after? I hear you saying the heavy letter after. So in this case, Ra is gonna be heavy just as the following letter. Let's see another example. Like in the word قرطاس. قرطاس, Ra is a second, between kasra before and a heavy letter after, letter Ta. So Ta wins. Ra is gonna be heavy just as Ta. These are the 8 cases when Ra is a heavy sound, and it's so simple and easy. Ra is heavy in 8 cases if it has fatha, and if a second letter with fatha before, if it has sukun and preceded by sukun, preceded by fatha, if it's a letter with dhamma, if it comes a second letter and there is dhamma before, if it's a second letter preceded by a second letter and there is dhamma before them, and last 2 cases, if Ra is second letter preceded by a Hamzatul Wasl. And last one, if Ra is a second letter preceded by a kasra, letter with a kasra, but the following letter is heavy. The letter comes after Ra is heavy, so it's gonna be heavy too. This is all for today. جزاكم الله خيرا. السلام عليكم.